baby. All righty. Let me test audio. Let me do what I got to do. Send some tweets. We are live. Bum, ba-dum, bum, dum, bum, bum. Play Mr. Brightside all damn night, baby. Can't beat us in football. Can't beat us in basketball. That's embarrassing. Little League University, to be honest. Cannot type today. Let some people pile in here. All righty. Let's see. We got a comment early. We finally here. Hey, what's up, Mr. Goalie? Good to see you, brother. Let's see. Let maybe see if Littlefoot maybe comes in here. See if anybody else comes in here and fix my hair. Oh my God, I've had a long day. Got a couple people in here. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to Missouri Tigers Postgame Live here at the Voice of College Football. I am Zach Ramilius here as always. Monday nights, we're here with Missouri Tigers Live here at the Voice of College Football, brought to you by Mark Rogers. Look, man, what a day. That was a fun atmosphere in Columbia as the Missouri Tigers, as I said they would, they got the W. 42-31. They do cover that 6.5. Good teams win. Great teams cover. Man, that was a fun one. I can't type any day. Dude, on my phone, I'm so bad at it. I'm so tired. I've had a long, 36 hours. But Mizzou wins 42-31 over the Kansas Jayhawks. Folks, it wasn't pretty for a lot of this game. We'll get down into some of the good, and there were some really good things from this Missouri team today that I think surprised everybody, and that includes me, in a good and a bad way. And then we'll break down some other stuff. We're going to talk a couple other things, and then we're going to get on out of here to enjoy the rest of the slate. I'll be here Monday. We'll talk more about, once I've had a chance to calm down. As you can probably tell, I'm a little hyper. A little excited. That was a really fun football game. Kansas is going to go off to their Little League conference now in the Big 12, but that was a game effort from them today. You really got to hand it to them, as much as I don't want to. But yeah, no. So let's get into the game. The Tigers come out and they get a stop. They get a 3-and-out. The KU tries this goofy, I don't know if it was a read option or if it was a direct handoff, like an outside stretch to a wide receiver, but it just didn't work. Jeremiah Trotter blows it up. Josiah Trotter blows it up, excuse me. And Mizzou comes right back down, and Ahmad Hardy punches it in. And after that, it was a poop show for about a quarter. So Mizzou gets the touchdown. KU comes right back. Bo fumbles it, his only mistake today. And then they punt, and Kansas scores, and all of a sudden it's 21-6. And I'm sitting here in my living room getting mad. Not because, look, teams lose games. I've seen Mizzou lose games. To Kansas, I would be extra mad, and that's part of it. But, that was just disastrous. I mean, they showed no effort, no fight. Not no effort, that's a lie. But it was very just goofy. And you know what Kansas is going to do. And look, they're really good at it. Jalen Daniels is a good quarterback. I have said that all offseason. I said that last Monday. He's a good quarterback. And he made some really nice plays today. But, 21-6, and then Mizzou punches back. Kansas only ran 4 plays in the second quarter, while Mizzou ran 32. They ran 32 plays before Kansas' one play. There was a safety, little controversy on the call. Mizzou bats it into the end zone. That shouldn't have been that. But you know what? There's some calls that went Kansas' way. There's some calls that went Mizzou. Referees did not have a great day today in Columbia. So I'm not going to really get into it. There was an atrocious face mask on Darius Smith. that gave Kansas a free first down. There was atrocious missed pass interference on Marquise Johnson as the guy's tugging onto his jersey. It's a really nice start from Lagway. But, and then there was some stuff missed, obviously, in Missouri's favor. So that play in particular. So, and on the Kevin Coleman touchdown, that was definitely a pick play from Marquise Johnson. So, not a good showing from the refs today. But Mizzou comes all the way back. They kick a field goal. I didn't think they should kick it, but we'll talk more about Eli in a little bit. They got down to the 2. Robert Meyer missed his extra point. Fair enough. Came back. Made his other kicks. So I can't be too mad at the kid today. He did make a couple field goals. So good on him. Third quarter, more back and forth. Kansas gets a field goal. Mizzou comes right back, 12 plays for a touchdown. A couple punts, another touchdown for Kansas. And then Mizzou, Brett Norfleet comes in from 21 yards out to take the lead. And then Jamal Roberts ends it after a confusing punt by Lance Leipold. We'll get into it. Holding all over the place. Zion Young was getting held like crazy. And Kamara, after the first half for Kansas, was getting held like crazy. And that kid had an unbelievable game. I thought earlier in the week when they said he had a contact injury, he was going to be – Kansas beat writers made it sound like he might be out for the whole season or at least a few weeks. And he played today, and he was unbelievable. That's an awesome player. He should be like a day 2 NFL draft pick. But – and then Mizzou clinches it. An interception by Dalen Carnell, who did not have a very good game today, in my opinion. But he makes up for it, gets the pick to kind of end it. It was already over, but is what it is. And the Tigers get the win, 42-31 over the Kansas Jayhawks. The first time the border war has been played since 2011. Mizzou has now won 9, 10, 11, 4 in a row over the Jayhawks. And none of those Jayhawks, and only 2 of those were against the Jayhawks. After the Jayhawks completely bottomed out. Like Kansas was pretty good in 08, or Kansas won in 08. Okay in 09, they were bad in 010. They're going to be pretty good this year. I know Kansas State fans are watching that game like, oh God, they're going to kick the crap out of us, and they probably will. Kansas State looks like garbage. Anyway, nice win for the Tigers. It was a game you could not lose. There are some concerns, but there are a lot of positives to come out of this football game. Yeah, I'll get into Eli in just a second. Actually, that's kind of what I want to – I don't want to start with it. I want to start with the positives. The first positive, I think, as we're here at the Voice of College Football, Missouri, like and subscribe, guys. Like, come on, seriously. Come hang out, subscribe. I'm here every Monday. I'm here post-game for every Missouri Tigers football game. I'm talking fast today. Got a lot of energy. That was a super fun football game. I'm nervous. And I'm also really excited for this night slate of football. Like, I have 4 screens. I got 4 games I want to watch. And I want to watch the end of this USF game. And I'm kind of keeping an eye on it. We'll probably still be live when that game goes final. The first thing. So, all offseason, I understood why Mizzou took Prabula. I did not think he was a good thrower of the football. I thought he would be okay. I did not think he had a very active arm. I thought he had a good enough arm for a college quarterback. He's not an NFL quarterback. I'm not going to say that yet. And I thought he'd really be able to use his legs. Now, when Sam Horn went down, they had to change that a little bit, which is part of my concern is okay, can he throw the ball well enough on 3rd and 7, 4th and 7 multiple times today? Shoot, on a 4th and 1, they threw it with him. That's crazy to me. Mizzou upgraded at quarterback. I like Brady Cook. Look, God bless the guy. He was 2 of the better seasons in Mizzou football history, 2 10-win seasons as the starting quarterback at Mizzou. That should not be overlooked. And in 2023, he legitimately was awesome for a lot of the season. For Brady Cook, that cannot be overlooked. Mizzou upgraded at quarterback. There are some throws today that Prabula made that I don't think Cook could make in his sleep or it could make on his best day. He had a couple drops in the bucket over the shoulder. Even his first throw of the day was just impressive. And he got, Donovan, the freshman, he made a nice one-handed catch. That kid is going to be crazy good, by the way. I can't wait for him to keep growing. He's clearly wide receiver 4 on this team. And he spreads the ball around. Now, Kevin Coleman was the favorite target today, 10 catches for 126 yards. He was great. Kevin Coleman, worth every penny the University of Missouri gave to him when he transferred from Mississippi State. Brett Norfleet, staying healthy. And when he's healthy, he's pretty good, man. 7 catches, 76 yards, 2 touchdowns today. Daniel Blood, 2 catches for 39 yards. Like, where did Daniel Blood come from? He was involved, and he had a couple, like, key plays today. The only time I ever remember Daniel Blood doing anything was the LSU game in 2023 when Kirby Moore was really in his bag as a play caller. That whole game, to be honest, they didn't lose that game because of Kirby Moore. Let me see. I guess I'm moving more into the offense. I'll get off Bo. Donovan, the freshman, 3 catches, 29 yards. Marquise Johnson was kind of held in check. He did not have a huge game, but that's, when you go off one week, the next week, I think the Kansas corners did a good job. They weren't going to get beat deep, and they didn't. Xavier Lloyd had a nice 15-yard catch, his first as a Missouri Tiger. I thought the wide receiving room and tight end room looked really good today. Again, Kansas defense, it's a Big 12 defense. It's not loaded with NFLers. So we'll learn more in 2 weeks against South Carolina. We'll learn kind of full form what this team is. Next week, you have Louisiana. Louisiana's starting quarterback Walker Howard, who used to play at LSU and Ole Miss, is injured. I think if I remember right, it's broken sternum. So he's not going to play. Louisiana's not very good anyway. They lost to Rice. Don't lose to food. I'm not too concerned about next week. I think next week you get healthy. You spent a lot of emotion in this game. Get healthy. Go win it, by 2-3 scores, just get the win, and then all hands on deck for South Carolina. Because then you have another week off against UMass, and then you have a legit week off for the bye week before Alabama. So, man, what an effort today from the offense. They were clutch when they needed to be. I mean, when's the last time? I mean, Brady Cook didn't throw for – it's been a while since a Missouri quarterback threw for 300 yards in back-to-back games. He had 334 and 3 touchdowns, 30 above 75% completions. Tom Fornelli over at the Cover 3 podcast, which I love, and I like Tom a lot. I respect all those guys over there. Can't wait to hear their breakdown of this game. Even he was like, we might have misevaluated this Missouri offense with Bo. That touchdown to Norfleet on 3rd and goal from the 11. I didn't know he could make that throw. That was a bullet in between the safety and before the linebacker could come over and the safety could bear down on Norfleet. That was an absolute rocket. Man, I'm just so impressed. And then the run game, Jamal Roberts, he broke the big 63-yarder, and he had a big run before half. He was pretty consistent all day. Hardy, 22 carries, another 100-yard game, long of 32. So if you take that away, though, that's 21 carries for 68 yards. Still over 4 yards to carry, but he can only get better. But he does a great job of not going down, man. That kid just plays football. Come on, USF. That kid just plays football, and God love him for it. They did not run Bo a lot. He had the 112-yard scramble. I don't think – yeah, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. The offensive line was not very good today. I thought – I love USF's RPO stuff. I thought the interior offensive line, I don't think either guard had a particularly good game, and I don't think Hayden Green had a good game. I thought Trost looks pretty good. They might have hit on him, and Toloson's Toloson. At this point, you know what Connor Toloson's going to be. He's really steady. He's going to make some throws. He's going to make some plays. Or not make some throws. Good Lord. I was just watching Byram complete an out route. He's going to make some blocks. He's not doing the bad snaps anymore, which is cool. I can take a breath, man. But the offense was awesome. They hit explosives. It's everything we didn't see last year. Where last year offensively, kind of like if you remember the 2014 team, everything was a slog. It felt like it took extra effort to get touchdowns. And yeah, they did have a 15-play drive and a 17-play drive, but there was like no – with this backfield, you have to be able to pick up 4th and 1s and 3rd and 2s and stuff like that. And they do. They stay ahead of the chains, and when they need to hit explosives, they have the ability to. I thought Kirby Moore called a really good game today. All my concerns about Kirby Moore from last year are gone for the most part. Again, but because even in games like this last year, they weren't doing this. Like Boston College did not have a good defense, and they couldn't do anything against that damn team. So, yeah, you have to be really encouraged about that. The offensive line needs to be a work in progress. Just keep getting better, man, because in 2 weeks, you got that South Carolina defense coming to town, and maybe the best defensive end in the country. So this is Missouri Tigers Postgame Live, breaking down the 42-31 win over the Kansas Jayhawks in Columbia for the Border War, the first time in 14 years that this game's been played. An absolute barn burner of a game. Both teams should be really happy with their effort today. I know Kansas, probably not taking a moral victory because you had chances to win this game. And I'll get into coaching here in just a minute. I'm going to take a quick breath, though. Why do I have that? I should have this up. Hit the wrong thing. I want that banner up. My apologies. But while I take a quick breath, I'm just going to play this.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
We're back, Missouri Postgame Live. I'm trying to think. Let's get into Eli. I've said a lot, and I do believe this. Eli Drinkwitz is a good coach. If you follow me on Twitter, I think I make it clear that I think Eli's a good coach. My only issue is he's something like that punt on 4th and 2 up a score drove me nuts. You have to be able to think you can pick up that against Kansas, and then Kansas marches down and scores. Sometimes he coaches cowardly. Like before the half, I think you should be able to punch that in either with your big running quarterback, one of your running backs that run the ball really effectively. I like Eli a lot. It annoys me how brashly he talks and then kind of puckers up in some big situations. But hey, man, they needed a 4th and 7, and they came up with the play and got it. Like, you have to give credit, and he wins a lot of close games. I know a lot of the time close game results kind of even themselves out. But there are some coaches, man, who are just really bad in one-score games. Look at Scott Frost at Nebraska or Brent Pry at Virginia Tech. And there are some coaches that are really, really good at it. Look at Kirk Ferentz at Iowa. Over the course of it, they lost a one-score game today, of course. Today I'm trying to make this point. But, sometimes coaches are just good at it. His time management at the end of the first half, when they stole points on the Jamal Roberts huge run and a really nice big play by Kevin Coleman, it was beautiful. His time management at the end of the game, I thought, was really good. Kansas had 4 minutes, I think, to come back and score. But that's because Mizzou hit an explosive on a 4th and 1, because Kansas sold out to stop Hardy, who I think was in the game. Sometimes it's hard to tell which one's in the game. And Norfleet just sneaks open and scores. But I thought Eli, for the most part, coached a really good game. Sometimes the cowardly stuff, man, and it is cowardly, especially with a freshman kicker who has never played before. And you know what? Credit to him. He missed his first kick and came back. He missed his extra point, and he came back and he made the rest of his kicks. So full credit to him. But the main issue I'm having right now is Corey Batum. That defense gave up 24 points today because Kansas did have the one defensive touchdown. So credit to them. 3 for 11 on third down. So I will give Corey credit on that. His defense, even last year, did a really nice job on third down. Kansas only had 226 total yards of offense. That's because Mizzou held the ball. They only had the ball for 19 minutes. Mizzou held the ball for 39 minutes. They were averaging 7.5 yards per pass. 229 yards on 30 plays, 19 plays, 39 plays. We're over 5 yards a play, while Mizzou ran. Mizzou offense was awesome today, 588 yards. If you include fourth downs, Kansas was 5 for 13, which isn't great. Mizzou, 14 for 24, which is really good. My issue with Corey Batum is quickly becoming teams that have a pulse offensively. Last year, Mizzou did not play a lot of teams that had pulses. Vanderbilt had a pulse. I actually think Mizzou did an okay job against Vandy. Alabama obviously had a pulse. For a half, Missouri did really well against Alabama. And then the wheels. I don't blame Batum and the defense for that one. That was just the Mizzou offense couldn't move the ball at all. And they had Drew Pine in the game, so of course. A&M, they got destroyed. And I don't think with Connor Wegman. And South Carolina got them really good. Iowa was able to move the ball. And Iowa last year's offense had a pulse. Last year's Iowa, not this year's Iowa. Last year's Iowa's offense had a pulse. Like OU didn't have a pulse. Auburn didn't have a pulse. Arkansas sucked. Saying Arkansas sucked is maybe a little harsh. Their offense was okay last year with Taylor Green and Petrino. But it's got to be better. I'm not saying you got to pitch a shutout, but you gave up 24 points. And when the team needs key stops, it just never seems like the Missouri defense makes it. Against teams with pulses, like against OU, they obviously got the strike and strip and fumble, but that needs to change, man. This defense is too talented to not be able to contain some of these players. And Kansas has a good offense. Lance Leipold runs a fun offense that's hard to prepare for. I understand that. But we need more. I mean, you had what? Darius Smith got a sack and then a bullcrap face mask. Zion Young had a sack. Newsome and Chris McClellan each had half a sack. I need more. I need more from – did Wilson not even get on the – he didn't even make an impact today. I was going to say, I didn't hear Damon Wilson's name at all today. I thought Zion Young was really good. I thought Chris McClellan was really good today. I thought Trotter had a lot of really good moments. The secondary, Marvin Burks and Carnell, I thought had really rough days. I don't think Norwood had a particularly good day. They got bailed out sometimes because, they just had no clue. And that's what's covered between the linebacker and the safety or the nickel if it's Carnell. But I just don't think the defense played all that well. Look, they played well enough to win, and sometimes that counts. They did get the pick at the end. They did get the 2 stops at the end. So credit where credit's due. I'm still not entirely sure why Leipold punted there on 4th and 7. Mizzou was running the ball at will for like 2-3 yards a carry. That's not great, but that's a first down. I don't know why they punted. Like, I think the odds of you picking up a 4th and 7 were better than you getting a stop, even with 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning timeout, whatever they want to call it. That was an ugly tunnel screen in Louisiana. Troy. You're better in that. But yeah, I thought the secondary had a bit of a rough day. I thought Norwood. I didn't really hear a lot of pride. I didn't notice pride a lot, so that's probably a good thing. I didn't notice. But he had a tackle. Jalen Marshall, I thought actually came in and played okay up the middle. Mark Graciel looks better and better. Like, I thought the defensive line was okay. I know a lot of people were upset because they weren't getting a lot of pressure, but what you have to understand, guys, is I think they were doing a lot of mush rush where, like, the couple times Darius Smith goes upfield, Jalen Daniels breaks out for a 25-yard run. That's just kind of – and you're going to see that teams do that to Mizzou with Bo, potentially. He might have shown he's good enough passer to beat you, but they kind of mush rushed it. Didn't want Daniels to be able to get upfield and make plays with his feet because he's just a good quarterback. Other than that, man, they got the win. They gave up 24 points. Like 24 points is not the end of the world. They really buckled down in the second half. Mizzou goes on a 36-10 run. Yeah, 36-10 run to win a football game. They needed to win. And now everything that you think you can accomplish, maybe not what I believe you can accomplish, but what you think you can accomplish is still completely on the table. And that was not looking good when you went down 21-6. I was sitting here watching with my mom and my brother. They came over to watch the game. Had a great time, even though I'm freaking out over here when it's 21-6. I'm like, you cannot get killed by this team. I swear to God. I'll never live it down. It's like if Mizzou basketball beat Kansas by 30, just can't happen. So credit to, they buckled down. They just didn't get one stop. That's okay. It just needs to get better. I want to see more from Wilson. I want to see more from Smith and Young. And Santana Banner, I actually thought came in and had a nice moment. Carnell had the pick to totally save what was a bad day for him. He got burned a couple times, as did Marvin Burks. Marvin Burks quickly becoming an issue again this year. We'll see how he does against South Carolina and Lenora Sellers. So that, kind of going through my thoughts were I thought the offense was really good. I thought Bengali Kamara was the best player on the field for Kansas on either side of the ball. He was 2 tackles for a loss, 9 tackles, 4 solo. I thought he was just everywhere. The Kansas run game was non-existent, which you have to give credit to McClellan. You have to give credit to the defensive tackles that rotated next to him. Sterling Webb, Marquise, and Jalen Marshall. I thought they played really well. Jalen Daniels did not pop off in the run game. He 10 for 17. He did have a long of 19, some sack yardage. Obviously brings that back. Hishaw only 6 carries for 11 yards. Kansas, I think, realized very early they were not going to be able to run the football, as they shouldn't. Like, if you're an SEC team, I mean this with all love. This is going to sound super cocky. If you're an SEC team and you're playing a Big 12 team, they should not be able to run the ball on you. No ifs, buts about it. They should not be able to run the ball on you. And I think Kansas realized that very quickly that, oh my God, USF's going to have a chance for this. And I think Kansas realized really quickly that they're just not going to be able to do it. What else do I want to touch on? My brother was getting mad at me because very early in the game, look, I think Jamal Roberts is a really good running back too, but it really felt like he was getting a lot of carries compared to Hardy. Whereas I think if you get 20 carries, Hardy should get 14 and Roberts 6. And I'm like, God, they're giving the ball a lot to Roberts. Like, give it to your better running back. And then Roberts has the 2 big runs, which credit to him for that. But even more than that, my brother pulls up the box and he's like, Hardy's got 20, Roberts has 9. That shut me up really quick. Because, yeah, Jamal Roberts, I think, is a really good running back too. I think they trust him more I think they trust Jamal more in pass pro, where to be, who to block, where to align, things like that, than they do Hardy at this point, which is fair. Jamal's been around for a few years now. But, man, like, you just see it with this run game. Like, if this offensive line can figure it out and not be amazing, but just be like the 9th best offensive line in the SEC, this offense has a chance to be really good. Really, really good. The only unfortunate thing is you can't run Bo as much. Like, don't run him at all next week. Then South Carolina, everything needs to be on the table. Same with Alabama. you have the bye week. You have the bye week. You have Louisiana where you don't need to run them. You have UMass, you don't need to run them, and then you have a bye, and then you have a few games until Mississippi State where every play in your playbook needs to be on the table. I'm not saying run them 20 times or whatever. Don't do that. But, if it's 3rd and 4 and you want to run them, run them. You deal with the consequences later. What else did I want to touch on? But, Matt, you have to just give Mizzou a ton of credit offensively in this game. Like, you can see the vision. You can see why they took Bo compared. They really wanted Miller Moss. They whiffed. They missed on Miller Moss. And look, if you're Miller Moss, I understand why you would go to Louisville. You have Jeff Brom, who is, elevated. He elevated, was it Jack Plummer a couple years ago, brought him over from Purdue. Did a really nice job last year with, God, who was their quarterback last year? I don't remember. But done a really nice job with guys in the portal. And I understand it if you're Miller Moss, going with who was it? Okay, this is going to kill me. Because I'm going to see it, and then I'm just going to get really, really mad at myself. 2024 Louisville football. But I understand why you would want to it's Tyler Shutt, duh. Goodness gracious. I completely understand why you would want to go there. But when they pivoted, they were going after Mendoza, who's now at Indiana. And then when Bo said, "Look, I'll come," like you have, and Mizzou had a chance to wrap it up. Like, I see the vision. Touchdown Clemson. Okay, so they're going to beat Troy. I see the vision. This offense, I think, has a chance to be really, really good. You're going to have to excuse me for a moment because if USF wins this game, that's crazy. They're not playing. Okay, they're not. RPO. It's another first down. Oh, no, Florida. Oh, no. With your schedule, you can't lose this game. You can't do it. No. And if you're South Florida, that might be a playoff team, man. Like, after they beat Boise down, who else coming? I'll trust me. When I get off here, TV1 is going to have Michigan, Oklahoma. TV2 is going to have Arizona State, Mississippi State. My third TV is going to have, Virginia Tech, Vanderbilt, and then my laptop's going to have Michigan State, Boston College. Oh, believe me, man, I got it all set up and ready to go. I just want to do the show, and there are people who do watch this after, and obviously you're here live, so I want to give good content. I'm not trying to rush out of here, but the good news, I also want to mention here at the Voice of College Football. Oh, I didn't copy it. Oops. Oh, I made a thing. We have merch. voiceofcollegefootball.com/shop, t-shirts, polos, hats, anything you want while you tailgate or watch college football on a nice, beautiful Sunday here in St. Louis, Missouri. Beautiful Saturday. Good God. Like I said, I had a long 36 hours. And with work and some friend stuff and whatever. But we don't care about my personal life. Anything you could want. And if you use Voice of College Football Missouri, a promo code, you get some benefits maybe coming your way. Play Mr. Bright. I literally made a banner like play Mr. Brightside all night, man. I'm not gonna no free sponsorships. I actually think I might have moved it, but I do got my little speaker here. I was playing it after the game. I was hyped. Yeah, man, play it all night long. Like, look, the rivalry's back. It's kind of always been online. Kansas and Mizzou hate each other. It's ugly. It is. It's an ugly rivalry. These two schools hate each other. Kansas, reporters are like Mizzou fans are saying awful things. Like Kansas State fans are usually much more cordial, and Kansas fans are saying some bad stuff. It's a rivalry built on hatred. It's not pretty. It's not a friendly rivalry. And when you get a chance to beat them, man, you got to take advantage. I'm not saying do anything. Don't go behind a burner account and tweet. Like, that's ridiculous. But You got to have fun with it. And we got them in basketball last year. The basketball game this year is a chance to be really, really fun. And you won in football. They'll go back to Lawrence next year, and you beat the crap out of them again. Truthfully, when you look at some of the yards and the per play stuff, this game should not have been as close as it was. Mizzou really dominated the per play, and some of the stuff like Mizzou, the success rate for Mizzou. When you look at stats of war, like how badly did you get beaten? Byron down at the. I would run one more play. I would not rely on a field goal here. Mizzou's probably going to win that pretty well because I think on a per play basis, Kitty wanted to celebrate. I thought Mizzou did a really nice job, and I think dominated most of that game. So, what changes is the defensive score, man. Like if you look at the stats, like a defensive score changes your odds of winning by like 20, 25%. Like it's crazy how much it does for you to win football games. And Kansas got one, and they got one quickly. So to come back from that, to come back from 21-6 down in a game that had a lot of pressure, it was like all the pressure was on the Tigers. Kansas, they come in, they want to win this game. I think Kansas is going to be pretty good this year for a Big 12 team. I think I had them going 8-4. I think I've said that 100,000 times. And of how Kansas State's look, they might beat Kansas State finally. I think that's a good team, but I'm not sure. I forget where I was going. I think that's a really good team, but all the pressure was on the Tigers. Yeah, the one drop. Ooh, that was a good throw too. Henderson just missed it, and I thought Henderson had a nice day for them. He showed why they got it. 3 catches, 29 yards, but he always seemed to be open. He was one. There was a couple deep shots Daniels just missed. But no, all the pressure was on Mizzou. You're at home. You're the big bad SEC team. You haven't lost a home game since last year. All right. USF is going to kick like a 19-yarder to get the win in the swamp. I think this was just a super pressure-packed game, and then you come out, you fall behind 21-6. Obviously people aren't happy. The fact that you came back, you dominated the scoreboard the rest of the game, like 36-10 run, even against the Big 12 team, is pretty damn good. So good on the Tigers for fighting back. Like you got to give Eli a lot of credit. Like that team just doesn't get rattled. And what I was most happy about is sometimes even good teams panic when they get down 21-6. They didn't panic. The next drive they came out, handed the ball off, 15 plays, scored a touchdown on 4th down, and then they're right back in it and tie it before half. Like they knew they could move the football. So all the pressure was on Mizzou, and they came out and look, good teams win, great teams cover. So, we'll talk more about this game Monday, obviously, when I've had a chance to breathe and really sit with it. Had a chance to sleep. I haven't slept in like a day and a half. Hold on one moment, folks. I know you guys are going to be ahead of me, but I'm going to watch this kick for the Gators. Is their season about to end? Oh, my God, USF did it. Oh, welcome back to the hot seat, Billy. Oh, my goodness gracious. That cannot happen. That can't happen. Your season's over. And I know people, I was high on Florida. I just thought their schedule would kind of bite them in the ass as the season went along. Because, next week they go to LSU. They play Texas A&M on the road. They play Ole Miss on the road, who didn't look great again today against Kentucky. You still got to play Georgia. You got to play Texas. You got to play all these teams. And, damn, you lost to USA. Your season's over in week 2. This is an awesome week of college football. Last week was like your big marquee games. You had Texas, Ohio State, Miami, Notre Dame. This is like a college football fans week. You had the Cy-Hawk. You had the Border War. Baylor SMU played an awesome football game. I don't know if any of you watched Virginia Tech, NC State. That was an awesome football game. Illinois went to Duke in a game I thought Illinois was going to lose, and Illinois punked them in the second half. Like Illinois, that's a legit playoff team, man. You had the border war tonight. You got a bunch of really fun football games. That it's just like these are the weekends. If you're a college football fan, you're like, man, like you're sitting back, you're eating good, man. And next week you have two awesome night games. You have Texas A&M and Notre Dame, and then you have the game between LSU and Florida, but that game has lost its luster, unfortunately, a little bit. Sorry, I'm kind of switching games around here. What else did I want to talk about? I think moving forward, like and subscribe, and I think moving forward, you got so this. I've said all season you had 3 gimmies. I thought this was one of them, or 5. You had 5 gimmies. This was one of them. You had to win this. 5 can't loses. Embarrassing to loses. This was one of them. Louisiana was one. Central Arkansas was one. UMass was one, obviously, and then next week, Mississippi State at home. Even though Mississippi State's up 7-0 on Arizona State, so we'll see, but. They got it done. A game you had to win. You got it done. You lose this game, a lot of what you think you may be able to accomplish is off the table. Any thought of going to the playoff, anything like that, off the table. ESPN Unlimited? What the heck is that? And you got it done, man. Like you had to do. They're roller coaster games too. Like that was, yeah. My heart, I'm tired, dude. I got tired watching that game. I've lost a lot of weight. I used to be about 400 pounds. I'm down to about 250. So I'm still pretty big, man. And I was, my heart was palpitating. I did not like that. Mizzou was making my heart do that, but they did it. They got the win. So, I don't say this facetiously. Kansas, that was a really game effort from them. I thought they played. I thought their offense, and I thought Jalen Daniels. I think Jalen Daniels has some cojones, man. Like that kid can play. And he's not a kid anymore. He's in year 6, for God's sakes. But he's a good player. We'll see what he does moving forward. But I think Kansas is in line for a good year. I don't know if they're going to be amazing. I don't know if they're going to win 10 games, but they might win 8. They might win 9. Touchdown Oklahoma. So I think you have to be happy with a win there. My comments keep. USF might make the playoff. Losing to Louisiana. Mississippi State, we'll see what happens tonight. Like I reserve the right to change the opinion on Mississippi State. If they beat, even though you still should lose that game at home, but I reserve the right to change things. You can't lose to UMass. You can't lose to Louisiana. USF could make the playoff. Louisiana is missing their starting quarterback and does not have a good team, really. I mean, they lost to Rice, for God's sakes. Like, if you lose to a team that lost to Rice, like we got some issues that I'm not don't really want to talk about. We got problems. But you got the win. I'm running out of breath, so I think I'm going to wrap things up. We will be back Monday to talk more about this football game. Monday at 7 o'clock Central Time. We'll be back more to talk about the Missouri Tigers beating the Kansas Jayhawks. And then we'll get into Louisiana. I think the analysis Monday is probably going to be a little bit better than the analysis tonight. Like my heart is still going boom, 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 boom. So like and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much for coming in. If you're watching this later, and I know some people do, thank you so much. The main takeaways from today, I think Mizzou's upgraded at quarterback from Brady Cook. I just think they have. I think, God bless Brady Cook. And look, they don't have Theo Weiss. They don't have Luther Burden. But I think they hit on Kevin Coleman. I think they hit on their freshman class. And I think Mizzou's offense, all offseason, the thought was their defense is going to be pretty dang good. We'll see about the offense. Lo and behold, the offense is pretty damn good, and we'll see about the defense. So play Mr. Brightside all damn night as the Missouri Tigers beat Kansas 42-31 in Columbia. Thank you all here for joining me here on Missouri Tigers live postgame. Enjoy the rest of your night of college football. Enjoy the week 1 of the NFL slate tomorrow, if that's your cup of tea. Not really mine. I got other plans for tomorrow. And I hope you all really enjoyed that Missouri Tigers win, man. That game's what college football is about, baby. Like 2 teams not winning the Natty. And thanks as always. Thank you guys for being here. 2 teams that aren't going to win the Natty, but man, that was fun. So I'll see you all on Monday, 7:00 for the see you on Monday for more recap and then the Louisiana preview. And look, man, season's here, season's rolling. Mizzou's got an offense, baby. I'm so happy.